So this isn't going to be the Silent Hill video that I wanted to make after waiting 7 months for news, but we're going to do it anyway because, you know, views. So I'm sure you've already seen by now, but Konami recently released the Silent Hill Ascension second trailer, and it looks like a disaster. There's just so many red flags, cringy red flags throughout the whole thing. So I'm warning you right now, this video is basically going to be me complaining. I know, makes a change, right? But I thought we could watch this trailer together with the cringe counter on and yeah, discuss it as we go. Let's go.
I can feel it. Your guilt. So thick it chokes the air.
Wow, not even 10 seconds in and we got our first cringe. So the voiceover jumps straight into the Silent Hill trope of guilt, of course made popular by James Sunderland in Silent Hill 2. I feel like the Western attempts at Silent Hill, they always try and recapture the success with that theme, like the main character's guilt, and here they just burp it out in the first sentence without any kind of artistic flair. It's like something my English teacher would have praised me for back at school if it was my first attempt at, like, doing a metaphor. It's cringe, so that's number one.
You want to know how you can escape from this place, but you can't.
And just a short, shadowy segue away, we get to cringe number 2. The monster that's hiding like 2 inches away from the female character's back, leaning to the side to get into the shot like he's trying to photobomb a selfie or something. It's so far away from being anything like remotely Silent Hill that it kind of just makes my toes curl. And this monster, I know you can't see much of it because of the shadows, but it looks very similar to a monster from a game called The Suffering. I'll bring a picture up of that now. Really cringe.
Any more than you can escape yourself and the pain you carry. It fills you up like a sickness, a disease that you pass on to everyone you meet, everyone you love, even your children. Because no matter how hard, how fast.
All right, ladies and gents, welcome to cringe number 3, the bloated creature limping through the woods. It just stinks of like inspiration bankruptcy. A version of this creature can be found in pretty much any zombie game, and he's the face of a trusted tire brand. And you can even look at things like the Unreal Engine marketplace assets for Fat Monster, and you'll find stuff that you could imagine an artist just importing into Blender, making a few minor tweaks and getting a really similar result. It's boring, it's lame, and we've seen it a million times before. It's not scary, it's cringe.
How far you run. Your past will catch up with you.
And here be cringe number 4. The spindly armed, long clawed hands thing, you know, breaking through the wood. These guys can be found previously in the game Until Dawn. It's the Wendigo monster. Oh my god. The Wendigo had a very, very similar frame to this, and even shots of its arms bursting through wooden beams as well. What a coincidence. Busted. Yeah? Very cringe. And just a short mention that when the fat guy slams slams the objects out of the way, slams his toys out of the pram, one of his arms isn't even hitting the thing that's fucking slides across the room. I didn't want to make a whole cringe for that, but it is pretty cringy. Anyway, let's get to cringe number 5. And here we have cringe number 5, which I think has got to be my favorite cringe. It's the winged bat creature stabbing one of the characters, I assume, to death. Now, it's not only cringe because the animation is so comical, and it is hilarious, but the character itself, like the bat thing, looks ripped out of another game called Dead Space. If you remember, the Infector, same webbed bat-like wings, you know? And though this Ascension creature appears to have like 2 spiked appendages in its wings, as opposed to the like the javelin mouth thing from the Infector, it's basically the same thing. It feels like it has no originality, and it's cringe. And cringe number 6, I feel like I'm handing out the Oscars here. And cringe number 6 goes to the silhouette of the character who I believe was in the first reveal trailer like 7 months ago. He looks more fitting to be in some Lord of the Rings fanfic than he does wandering the foggy streets of Silent Hill. In my humble opinion, I believe that Pyramid Head might have been too strong of a figure for the series, especially for like outsiders looking in. I think it might be a little bit of a double-edged blade really, because if you don't really get Silent Hill, like, or if you're new to it or you've just seen it in passing, you might think that this like slow, menacing character with a big sword, you know, in some way has to be in like every iteration of Silent Hill, when it really doesn't. In fact, I would actually be happy if we never got another big, slow, menacing dude with a conventional weapon in his hands ever again in Silent Hill. But this guy's not scary. He looks like Sauron. Yeah, cringe. And finally, cringe number 7. Of course, they had to get another one in before the end, didn't they? The tagline, "Face your trauma together." Oh God. I don't think this one needs explaining, but if you've ever played Silent Hill before, you know that this kind of marketing phrase really kind of diminishes what Silent Hill really is. One of the main pillars that Silent Hill has always been really good with is that feeling of isolation. Like, not just in the town, but like the individual's experience through it, like the player and the character. But like this kind of tagline, like the "Face your trauma together," it just sounds like it's, I don't know, going to be like a co-op dungeon crawler, which it definitely isn't, and we'll get to that in a minute. Or like a Silent Hill Battle Royale, huh? Like, I joke about the Battle Royale thing, but you damn well fucking know that Fortnite are going to jump on this. Like, the Silent Hill 2 remake, I guarantee, I'm calling it now, there's going to be a Silent Hill themed battle pass with like alterations to the map, and oh my god, it's James Sunderland running around with an AK-47 or whatever. So these are some of the thoughts I had when watching the trailer, and of course I'm leaning into the goofy side for the sake of this video, but I remember that when this game was announced, the premise of the game was like pretty confusing. So for those who don't know, this isn't really a game at all. It's basically going to be a live stream, choose your own adventure kind of Silent Hill story, where the viewers or players will be using like a voting system, and there's like, I think the dev said that there's like a button mashing thing and some QTE prompts. So I think there's going to be like 3 branching paths, and you get to like all vote while, you know, the viewers are all voting at the same time. I'll read you some of the stuff from the official website. It makes it a little bit more clearer than me. Oh, but I do remember I read on Twitter as well that there's going to be some sort of weird point system, which is supposed to help try and mitigate the fact that if you just left these choices up to the public, you damn well know people are going to just go for the most absurd, ridiculous choices, or just try and get everybody killed as quickly as possible. The internet, man, it's a wonderful, wacky, terrible place. I personally don't think that the public should be deciding what happens in a Silent Hill story. Silent Hill is not a democracy, okay? Anyway, this is from the official website. Let's get clued up. Redemption, suffering, or damnation. The actions of millions will determine the outcomes of Silent Hill Ascension. So redemption, suffering, and damnation, those are the 3 pathways that I was speaking about earlier. These are the paths that the characters can go down, all depending on what the players vote for. And also, actions of millions. Steady on there, mate. Let's get this thing off the ground before you start thinking about millions. Silent Hill Ascension follows multiple main characters from locations around the world, tormented by new and terrifying Silent Hill monsters. Lurking in the shadows, these monsters threaten to consume people, their children, the entire town, as they're drawn into darkness by both recent murders and long-suppressed guilt and fears. Ooh, grammar, 2 ands there. Recent murders and long-suppressed guilt and fears. So the game's going to have multiple main characters, because that way when players obviously inevitably get them killed, the story doesn't just come to a standstill, it can keep going. By whoever is more viable to continue with, I imagine, or just whoever is left alive. In Silent Hill Ascension, the actions of millions will determine the outcome. By the time the last scene streams, which characters have survived? Will those who are left be redeemed, damned, or suffer? Even the project's creators don't know how Silent Hill Ascension will end. Instead, the characters' fates are in the audience's hands. Like, I don't know, this all sounds completely off the mark to me, personally. Like, is this really a Silent Hill sounding idea to you? Do let me know what you think in the comments, guys, because I do read them all, and I will be curious as to what your general, opinion of this is. I know I'm going to get some backlash for this video, probably, because people are going to be like, oh, you're just jumping on a hate train, all that shit. You don't even know what it's about yet. You can't hate it. But like, if I look at something and everything about it looks shit to me, I'm gonna say it looks shit. I'm not gonna like think it's rainbows coming out their asses. It's just shit. And I've seen people on Twitter already be like, you can't make fun of the monsters yet because you don't know what they mean, you don't know what they represent. And of course in Silent Hill, the representation of the monsters, like the manifestations, they are very important to the story. And my rebuttal to that would be, the monsters in this can represent whatever they like, but they don't look original enough in their design to inspire any kind of curiosity from me. I look at them and I see other games, I see other people's ideas. So it doesn't, you know, all the other Silent Hill monsters have all been really interesting and artistic, and they're striking. Like, you look at it and it's like horrifyingly fascinating. Whereas these are just, I don't even know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what the shit is. It looks bad to me. It's my opinion. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I just don't think this idea is my cup of tea. And hey, if you think this sounds awesome and you think this looks awesome, then honestly, more power to you. You know, especially if you're new to Silent Hill, we do need like as many new eyes on the franchise as possible right now, because it's been dead for so long. I feel like generations of people haven't grown up with it, and that makes me sad because it was like a huge part of my childhood. But hey, look, call me old-fashioned, and old-fashioned I may be. I just want a traditional horror game, third person, amazing graphics with like inspirational artwork, incredible audio, and a story that's thought-provoking and scary. Look, I don't ask for much. I just feel like Silent Hill needs to do what they always did best. Like, go back to like what made the series great to begin with. And anyway, by the looks of the comments on this Silent Cringe Ascension trailer, I'm not alone. I think it was bizarre of Konami to make us wait 7 months in radio silence pretty much, and then give us this wet turd to gobble down, when they damn well know that people are waiting for Silent Hill 2 remake news. And honestly, they don't even have to give us a release date, I don't think. If they just said, look, it's not coming yet, but the development is going well, that would be enough. Just to, okay guys, just calm it back, let's reel it back in a little bit, you know? I think the fans are just excited that Silent Hill is coming back, and they just, you know, now that it's kind of inbound, they're just like, I want everything now. And I'm the same. I'm guilty of it. I check every single day for Silent Hill 2 remake news and Silent Hill F news. This project's going to all come down to how strong the writing is. If people can learn to care about the characters and actually feel something if their favorite one ends up dying or survives, then I think that will be a success. It'll kind of be like watching a Silent Hill TV show, I guess. And I did suggest that would be an amazing idea in my Return to Silent Hill video. But hey, look, if it's good for everyone, right? I just think that like the look of this game looks like a game that may have been in development before the Silent Hill name got put on it, you know? And then once they made a deal with Konami, they're like, oh, let's just make it a Silent Hill game. Like, if you took the Silent Hill name away from it, it just looks like a generic horror game, right? But anyway, all things considered, I'm not going to put all my eggs in this cringy basket, personally. But I will be here to watch it and comment on it. And hey, look, if it changes my mind and it's great, then I'm fine being wrong about things. Whether I love it or hate it, it's going to be part of the Silent Hill family, so I'm going to be making content around everything Silent Hill. If you could leave a like on the video for me, guys, dislike it if you didn't like it or you hate me, all right? You can just press the dislike button, that proves it. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and I'll see you when I'm looking at you. Thank you very much for watching. And hopefully we hear something more about the Silent Hill 2 remake either before or during Summer Games Fest. You know, I'll be here for it. Anyway, fingers crossed. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.